There's something about the characteristic of somebody who is saying, there's something about me that I really want to explore and I really want to change. And the Ibogaine allows people to recognize their habitual patterns. And so you have the concept of neuroplasticity, and again, I resist any effort to claim any expertise here, but it is, I think, really clearly understood that brain activity can be altered. And I think on an evidentiary level, Ibogaine, we have seen alter people's brain patterns in very significant ways. I mean, we have seen so many people who have been really suicidal, who have been able to recognize that there is a great gift to being alive. Now, you never escape the human condition. You're going to have your ups and your downs. But if you can reach a level where those ups and downs are greatly modified and not as steep and not as dark, you can remind yourself that things are going to change. So the Ibogaine does have the capacity, and again on an experiential level, to allow people to recognize that. Now, on the scientific level, there is a lot of effort taking place right now by pharmaceutical companies and entrepreneurs to somehow modify the molecule of Ibogaine. And they're putting a lot of money into it, and this is an enterprise that is growing. And one of the things that they've done is created a variation of the Ibogaine molecule that will eliminate the psychoactive part of it in order to make it simply applied for addiction interruption. What's going to happen here is only speculation, but my speculation is that it is very much the psychoactive element of the Ibogaine that really makes it effective. That simply removing the impulse to use and simply removing the agony of going through withdrawal is not the end of the story. That the real story has to do with the fundamental change which is induced by the emotional and psychoactive element that people engage with Ibogaine. But we'll see how that works out now. The pharmaceutical companies, the medical establishment, the insurance companies, the rehab centers, they all have a stake in this. They're looking for an opportunity to make this a real cash cow. And if it winds up in the end helping a lot more people, then that's great. I wouldn't want to stand in the way of that. But meanwhile, we, as a community of Ibogaine providers who have accumulated a certain amount of mutual understanding, we are doing good work. So they really should pay a little bit of attention to the people who have been working with Ibogaine all these years. Ibogaine is incidental. Ibogaine is a fabulous tool. But what we're really looking to do is to make a fundamental change in the direction that humanity is taking, and the way in which is available to me and to the people working with the plant medicines is basically one person at a time. But that has, the butterfly effect. I mean, the more people who are expressing themselves in a nonviolent way and looking for ways to heal rather than separate, it does reverberate. Or at least it seems to me. Or maybe it's just what I want to believe. But so in what has happened with me with Ibogaine has really been totally organic. There was never a grand plan. The closest it ever came to a plan was when I actually put together the website. And the intention there was not to advertise, but to make it easier when people call on the telephone to know that they had a little bit of understanding, to make their questions more meaningful and not spend hours beginning from a seed. But for a long time, the majority of the people who were coming to be with us, it was usually referral and people who were really kind of at the cutting edge of understanding something about psychedelic medicines. And now we see, and it's only been a few years, a real explosion of people who recognize that they're fundamentally unhappy, that something is really not right. And we know that there is nothing fundamentally wrong in terms of the organism, but that the culture has made it extremely difficult for people to feel satisfaction in their lives. So I think that we have agreed, and we've been talking about a mission statement for a long time. And my view of a mission statement is not that we would be particularly Ibogaine providers, but that we really are looking for ways to help people make fundamental changes in their life for the good of all. And Ibogaine just happens to be an extraordinary tool that we have become very familiar with in learning how to safely apply. Really, Ibogaine, IbogaQuest, the people that are working together here now are exemplary and really don't need me. And that is a wonderful, that feels good for me. Call it a legacy or whatever you care to, that we're learning together, and that we know that the world doesn't stop if somebody is no longer in it.
For me, it was a really important moment when Barry recognized me, when I wasn't able to recognize myself, the capacities that I had as a person and for work and just in life in general. My life has changed so much just by knowing Barry, and he arrived into my life at a moment when I was in a huge personal crisis, and he believed in me, and he saw something in me that I wasn't ready to see yet. And he was patient and kind and honest and loyal, and my life has changed completely in the last few years that I've been working with Barry and been sort of in the IbogaQuest family.
We love you so much, Barry, and thank you everybody for being here, and we love this man so much.
We sure do. For me, Barry is a brother, he's a friend, he's also a father figure, and he's shown trust to me always, and he's always has a way of showing love to me, and he's been caring and for me, he has been super important in my life. You know, someone showing me that they care and that they trust me was a super important part in me making a fundamental change in my life. So I'm always thankful and always have love for Barry, for you, brother. Barry and the IbogaQuest have shown me a new way of understanding life, have shown me where I can find meaning in my life and how to show it to others. And it's been one of the most amazing things in my life to be able to share and share my service, and Barry has been one of the most important parts of this.
Absolutely honored to work with Barry, not just because he's my friend, but because of his ethical approach to this whole project. He's not in it for the money, he's in it to help people. But basically, it's a tremendous privilege to know him and work alongside of him.